Transcona has been home to many internationally renowned artists, scientists, and athletes. Melvin McMullen is one Transconian that lived in the community almost his entire life and became known across the globe for his early interest in magic. He was the manager of one of the longest-standing businesses in Transcona, North American Lumber. During this time, he was also president of the Transcona Board of Trade. He was a Transcona school trustee, elected 5 times as town councillor, and a main organizer in the Transcona flood fight of 1950. McMullen was a hard worker by day and a magician who went by the stage name Len Vintus at night. McMullen often performed ventriloquism with his sidekick Jerry. Jerry is still in our collection at the Transcona Museum and was made by the same artist in Chicago that made Charlie McCarthy.
Len, his real name Mel, he was a very warm and kind character. Community service was a very important part of his person and his wife. I mean, he lived in Transcona most of his life. Right down the street, 604 Bond Street, a little pink house. I remember going there like hundreds of times, and he always had piles and piles of file folders and boxes of notes and things scattered all over. And his beautiful wife Helen, when I'd come knocking on the door, she would laugh and said, "Oh, it's taken over again." Like his office was his house.
A few years later, in 1922, McMullen organized with fellow magicians Gene Gordon and Don Rogers to create the International Brotherhood of Magicians, the world's largest organization for professional and amateur magicians. McMullen is one of the founding members and the first president of the organization. He still holds membership number 1 and was given this gold card to honor his work for the organization.
An important thing happened in 1923 is that the great Houdini came to Winnipeg, and he was performing at the Orpheum Theatre on Main and Fort. And so Len, being the president of this great organization, went down to see Houdini perform and went backstage to meet Houdini and tell him about this new organization. And to Len's surprise, Houdini didn't like it. Houdini was very protective. Being the president of the Society of American Magicians, Houdini didn't want any competition. He didn't like competition of magicians, he didn't like competition of escape artists, and he didn't want this young organization to have any influence over his membership. So he told Len no, he didn't want a part of it. So Len came home a little, deflated and with a little self-defeat, but he never gave up. He was determined to make this better than anything. And so Houdini's top rival at the time, Harry Blackstone, when he came to town, Len went and presented him with the idea. Well, Harry Blackstone saw the opportunity of this and what it could become, and he joined. He became member number 10. And from there, Len had the credibility that he needed, and magicians from all around the world started joining. And it soon surpassed the Society of American Magicians and became the largest magic organization in the world. And it was all started by one man, Len Vintus, living in Transcona in Winnipeg, that had a vision of magic, and he made it come true.